connectivity, we believe, will change the way that we communicate, the way that we enjoy entertainment, the way that we do business, the way that society actually will work. So I think we're at the dawn of something really, really interesting. I would argue that in a couple of years' time, when you go to a shop, you will struggle to find stuff that you buy that is not connected. You will have to buy a premium to buy something that is not connected. Everything will be connected. And that is a paradigm that we need to think through. How are we going to handle that? So if we can take the next slide. So as you rightly said, it is happening right now. We have several countries launching either trial networks or proper networks. And it's in a way a race between Asia, Japan, Korea, very, very early, and China as well, on one side, and then the US on the other side. And Europe, we're sort of in the middle somewhere. We're still trying to figure out the spectrum, as we rightly heard. We still try to figure out the data protection, regulations, etc. But China, they are investing. US is investing, and I just came from Davos where I had a discussion with the CEO of AT&T, and he sort of bluntly said that, you know, in Europe you are too much into numbers and trying to figure out what is the business case. We just build, and we're sure that the business case will come, and that's a different mindset, different mindset that I would have. So it is certainly happening, but it will take time, as you rightly said. 2025, there will be 1.3 billion 5G connections, but it's dwarfed by 4G and 3G. So it's only 14% of all connections that will be on 5G. US at that time, 2025, roughly 50% of all subscribers will be on 5G. 50%, so it's a very advanced market. China, on the other hand, will stand for the big volume, so 30% or so of that 1.3 billion connections will be in China. So 400 million connections in China. So we can take the next slide, please. So take the next slide, maybe. There you go. So the big issue here is how are we going to handle the revenue growth? As you rightly said, there will be huge investments. And we calculate from 2018, last year, up to 2020, the mobile industry will invest $500 billion US, $500 billion US in mobile capex, in only mobile capex, last year to 2023 years time. So it's a huge amount of investments. Traffic is growing dramatically. It is tripling every 4 years, or 50% per year roughly. We're consuming a lot of data, and we're just at the very start of this consumption of data. And 5G will of course give us more efficient way of providing that data. But it's also an opportunity, I believe, for the operator community to become more innovative in the new business models. And as you can see on the slide here, we see traffic going up, but revenue in the 4G world has not matched the traffic growth. So we need to figure out how to do that. And a way of doing that, if I can have the next slide, please, is to figure out what are the different use cases. And this is up for grabs. This is up for grabs completely. We certainly see smart mobility, where you have vehicles, drones, cities, offices, houses will be connected somehow. Of course, the way we communicate and use entertainment will change. Fiber to the home or fixed wireless access, and that is one of the first use cases where you basically have backhaul on 5G, and then you have your Wi-Fi covered at home or so, but the backhaul will be over 5G. So that is one very simple and easy first use case. Industry 4.0, for the first time we will be able to actually promise and commit capacity through network slicing. Now this is a new technology, you can say, a new standard that will be available from 2020, 2021 or so. So we can actually give capacity to a certain industry or to a certain center in a robust way. And the gaming, of course, and sustainability and healthcare will also be really important thing. However, we need to figure out what is the scale, what is the ecosystem around this, and we still need to be much more agile in it. Take the next slide, please. So, oops, now we took 2 slides in one there. So what are we doing from a GSMA perspective? So GSMA is an association made up of all mobile operators globally. With roughly 1,000 employees. We have 750 mobile operators, which is basically everyone on the planet, and we also unite the wider tech industry, so another 350 or so members. So we're writing right now a 5G guidebook, which is everything you need to know about 5G, and I will be happy to extend that to the panel once it's done. It's not really done yet. We're going to launch it in Barcelona in a month's time at Mobile World Congress. And we're also including business cases and use cases, and also something we call the 5G Readiness Index, which is a way of trying to figure out what are the factors that needs to be in place for a specific country or an operator or an industry to merge into 5G. I would like to say, we can take the next slide. I would like to say though that spectrum is absolutely the most important bit here. That has been nicely described as well. And for this to be successful, each MNO needs to have roughly 100 continuous megahertz. 100 megahertz. And in higher bands, if you go up to above 6 gigahertz, you need to have much more. You need to have maybe 1 gigahertz or so of continuous spectrum. So spectrum is sort of the bloodline of our industry. There will be, for many, many years to come, a mixture of 5G and 4G. So there will be non-standalone solutions, which makes it more, so I should say, credible, more efficient to actually combine 5G and 4G into the same operator. There will be seamless movement between 5G and 4G. At those spectrum levels, we're talking 3.8 maybe gigahertz or maybe even higher, up 4.5 or up to 28 or 30 gigahertz. A nationwide coverage is very, very costly and impossible basically. So we need to find smarter ways of sharing some of the spectrum, and I believe that, as the Minister said, to find ways of doing it on a commercial ground is the best possible way to do it. Maybe I can take the last slide, and I'm running out of time very quickly. As I said, 5G will be a complement to 4G. We believe that enterprise solutions will be a key driver going forward with this intelligent connectivity where we combine IoT and big data and 5G, of course. And we do need to see new cooperation models with our operators. However, regulation will be key. We need to find a new regulation that is fit for this new digital world, and try to forget the old analog regulation and move into a more digital regulation. Licensing and spectrum policies given, that is absolutely imperative. But again, I feel, I travel often to Russia. I do really enjoy Russia and Moscow, and I believe that you are in good hands. You are in good hands. You have 4 very skilled operators here, and they will figure it out. Thank you very much.